I'm Ted Meyer, and I am in Los Angeles, California, and I'm here with.
Lechedevirgen, Trimegisto, also known as Felipe Osornio. Thank you, Ted, for having me here.
Let's start a little bit about your medical history before we talk about your artwork.
Something fun about my medical history is that it starts at the same time that I started to do performance art. And it wasn't a planned to be like that, it just happened. So, more or less 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with a renal disease. It's called glomerulosclerosis, and it's a kind of a disease that affects the tissue of the renal tissue. So with the pass of the time, you start to lose the capacity to filter through the tissue of the kidneys, and then you end with kidney failure. So you have to go through different kind of treatments, maybe like hemodialysis that I was on, and also kidney transplant.
Your work it's just amazing to me. I mean, there's such a variety compared to so many other artists. You really put yourself out there. And first, you got a transplant from your mom. And maybe this is self therapy because I did not get along with my mom. And the idea of having a part of my mom inside me, I find terrifying. I've been thinking about it ever since we met in this sort of full circle. You come from your mom, yet now part of your mom is in you. And you've taken that and you've interviewed her, you've used her for photos, so let's talk about how you've incorporated your mom into your work.
Yeah, yeah. For me, also is one of the most important works. I think, obviously for obvious reasons, that work that is called Lifespan, or in Spanish, Esperanza de Vida. It's a collaborative work of performance art with my mother. One that we do on the and in the first anniversary of the kidney transplant. So for me was really the first moment that I let my mom enter to my art, the realm, or to my own world. For many years, we have been like as a mother and son, we haven't been so much close. But since the kidney transplant, we get a lot better than before, and I wanted to incorporate that into my work. For me, it was really like a rebirth. I was really trying to tell the story also with her view and not only mine, because I think it's always a thing of talking about relationships. For me, my relationship with my mother was really the biggest change I think on my life, also because of the kidney transplant. So in this performance, we sat together, we talked with the audience about the process, because also we were very interested in sharing the details about the and the information about the kidney transplants and the organ donation. That was the first thing, and the other thing was that I was trying to reconnect with my mom in a whole different level now that we have this. I liked to see it as an immaterial connection, because first was in the beginning was this with the umbilical cord, for example, that we shared together, and now I think that we share as something else, as something new, that is this organ, this new tissue that is like connecting us in a very different way than before.
I don't know how it is in Mexico, but in the States, a lot of times, friends that have had transplants, they never meet the person who they got the organ from. Some of them have written letters to the person thanking them. I mean, you've got a different thing. If your mom, I don't know if you live with her, but if she says take out the trash and you say no, she can go, I gave you a kidney. You know, does it change? Did it change the power dynamic between you guys?
I think it doesn't change the power dynamics. I think well, obviously we have a new kind of relationship, but it's not like that. Like my mom is really a really nice person. She doesn't expect me to pay her back, but like we have now a healthier relationship than before, and I think that also we are very like constantly we are trying to be very grateful one with other.
I could just imagine, I could imagine my mom watching me eat and go, don't eat that. I don't want that going through my kidney. That's not, she would micromanage her kidney after it was in my body. So let's just close up with talking about sort of becoming an advocate in Mexico for trying to, how you're doing it and how you guys are doing it as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I most of my work it's about gender and sexual dissidence and kind of the kind of queer theory mixed with other stuff and like in the beginning of my career. And since I was started to have this new chapter in my life that I have to take care of myself because of this illness that started 10 years ago. Um, More or less, most of the time, I was like not trying to talk about that, but in that moment, it just happened. Like I started to do work with science, with bioart, with mixed media and stuff, and I started to get more and more closer to this kind of combination between art and science and medicine and talking about illness and stuff. And then when I finally got the kidney transplant, I definitely, it's like something that I promised to myself that I wanted to bring attention to these things because I know that there is a lot of people suffering, waiting for organ. And if we could change the kind of thoughts in the mind of the people about the organ donation, that could be a huge difference. I think that if we can see the organ donation not as an extract, like extractivism from a body, that you take something out to put it on another body, but if you see it as a kind of sharing this like transcorporeal relationship with others, maybe the organ donation can also work as a like an hybridization between different organisms. So maybe we can start to build other kind of relationship between strangers and different people.
Your work is so varied, we could talk for hours, and I will probably call you back and we will do another talk about another aspect of your work. But thank you for talking about this. And hopefully we will get to meet in person one day, not just on Zoom through different art projects. So thank you for talking to me.
No, thank you, Ted, for having me. And obviously, I would like to keep talking about this and other things. So yeah, count me in.
We'll continue the conversation. Thank you.